All right, Battlefield 6 has been out for a minute, and I want to talk about why I like it. And it's significant for me personally because I'm not a big multiplayer game guy. I fell off multiplayer. I love playing single player games and blasting through them, but Battlefield 6 has really gotten its hooks in me. And this comes, we're now like a week or so after I did the Before You Buy for Game Ranks, where I really, really enjoyed it there. I did a preview a couple of months back on this channel, and I said, hey guys, I think it might be good. And now with it launched and seemingly the servers holding and it not being a disaster, it seems like I can confirm that it is good, or at least for me personally. I've been really, really enjoying it because it's just fun. Like sometimes there's nothing really too crazy or in depth to say other than that I've just been having a blast. Whether I'm playing with somebody I know or playing alone, the game has been giving me the goods. In between all the games I've been reviewing, Battlefield 6 has kind of served as the game I've just jumped into and done a couple of rounds here and there, a couple of matches, and I love it for that. Also, some background on multiplayer gaming, like what I liked. It's like Tribes. It's like 1,000 years old, but also one of the biggest things I was hardcore on was Rainbow Six Vegas. That was like my big multiplayer game for quite some time. I played Gears and Halo and stuff like that, but Call of Duty multiplayer, like back in the day, like original Modern Warfare, like that was incredible, of course. Then for me later on, in terms of the PC world, like the early days of PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, like when that was first becoming a thing and you had to play like a janked up version of it. It was so much fun. And the Battlefield games, I said on my other videos, like I've played all the Battlefields. I've jumped into them all. I play them all casually. And with Battlefield 6, the whole like return to form thing isn't just talk or marketing hype or whatever. It really does genuinely feel kind of like you're getting like the best bits of Battlefield 3 and 4, I would say. And this game has just been really, really good at those big moments. Like I really do think like you feel the budget here with this game, and that's not something I usually give too much of a shit about in a multiplayer game. But like the first time you jump into Battlefield 6 and a building blows up in your face, like literally, that is a really, really good, crazy feeling because like you're literally stunned or shell shocked from it. Probably like really because like not because like of what's happening in the game, but really like the audio visual cues and everything that goes on there. Like I was stunned the first time a building blew up in my face, and it took a while for the smoke to clear, the sound hit, and I was like, holy shit. And that's what this game is really good for. I remember Battlefield 2042 when they were like around launching that, they kept talking about like, we want to enable players to create those iconic only in Battlefield moments. And yet now here in Battlefield 6, I feel like that's where that more naturally or more organically comes up. The amount of incredible things I've seen, shit that's happened to me, not necessarily things I've done because I am very bad at the game, which I'll talk about that in a little bit, but the amount of cool clips I've also seen online of just incredible, crazy cinematic things happening to people is awesome. And a lot of it does come down to incredible sound design, over the top graphics, really, really good visuals, just selling every aspect of the game to kind of live up to the game being called Battlefield. You're supposed to be on a battlefield. You're supposed to feel like you're on a battlefield. And it does that. And it does that. And I think any good Battlefield game does it really well when you feel like fodder, especially if you're doing like the larger, like a conquest or something like that, like one of the larger type matches. You really feel like you're just fodder. You're one soldier in a massive scale war. You feel like you are going into the meat grinder, but you do also get those moments of feeling like you are the star player and you could pull ahead and do something incredible and be the hero. And so like, if it sounds like I'm like glazing up this game, like, yeah, I guess I am. I don't care. Like I'm having fun. I think that is just what really works, is that for me, is that I am not good at these games. I am awful. I am washed. My my instincts aren't as zippy as they used to be, I guess. So I am that person that's like, yes, after a long day of work, I can sit down and just play this game and get murdered by 15-year-old sweaties all day. Like that is happening to me constantly. But again, a good Battlefield game makes you feel like fodder, but also can make that fun in the process. And I think with Battlefield 6 going back to the classes and everything like that, everybody really has a role, and all of those roles are tightly designed and fun to play. I am not a crack shot, okay? I like a sniper rifle once in a while. Every once in a while I'll have my moments, but mostly I can't hit for shit. But playing as support, having like a higher rate of fire weapon, or playing as an engineer and just like following around tanks and fixing up tanks, or taking out tanks and vehicles, or running around and trying to revive people as much as possible. And not only doing that, not just for shits and giggles, but because it's satisfying, but also because the game rewards you for that, because you're scoring points, because you're leveling up, like because you're getting all of that stuff for playing your role. That's what makes it all the more sweeter. And I gotta say, even like specifically too, playing as like the medic, like, and going around and reviving everyone, it also helps that, like, regardless of class, I think the revive system is really, really good here. Really well done. The fact that you can grab someone and kind of pull and drag them away and then revive them, I think just makes for some really good moments, some real like butt clenching moments where you're like, let me try and pull you out and not like hopefully get my head blown off in the process. You know, those types of moments are really, really good. And I think also the fact that in terms of certain game modes, when you're weighing whether or not to just die and bleed out or hold on and wait a long time for a medic, right? Because you can wait and try and hope for someone to come and revive you, but you're also losing precious, fun video game time. You're sitting around just on the ground looking for someone to revive you, right? But in terms of like a mode where you have like limited respawn pool, that's you have to weigh those options. If there's no one around you, you die. But hopefully, if there are people around you, someone will revive you. And I will say, still, there are so many people out there that aren't playing the game right and don't revive, and it drives me insane. But again, the fact that I'm talking about a multiplayer game and I've managed to talk a few minutes about playing as a medic, or like playing, or just being someone who's reviving someone in general, right? The fact that I talked that long about that just shows how good and rewarding all those little subsystems are, other than just the running and gunning, which, yes, the running and gunning is really good. And I think it is fairly zippy. It feels pretty fast. And it's not just essentially player movement, but also, like I said in the before you buy, all the other stuff around it, the directional movement, the vaulting, the mounting your gun, the being able to dive or go prone and like move in all different directions and shoot. That just really helps me feel more empowered in a Battlefield game, you know? And Battlefield I always just kind of pictured Battlefield as like the game where, especially like the older console versions, it was just like this game where your assault rifle took up like half the screen, right? Like the field of view. And they always felt a little, not stiff, but just like, you know, not like insanely fast like a Call of Duty, right? I feel like now there's a good in between. There are some people that play this game and try and Call of Duty it. They do shotguns indoors, or they do knife sprints, and they're going around like maniacs. That's just going to happen in any game, I feel like, at this point, where you have at least some degree of freedom and movement. But I think now at this point, with the way the game controls and feels, is that the close quarter stuff and the fact that the game will happily funnel you into these smaller sections or do modes that take advantage of smaller sections of maps, I think that close quarter stuff is really up to par, where Battlefield I always thought was best the long game, the big open battlefields. This game has that, but at the very least, when you do come close, it also feels really good. And I think that's the testament to just like a good, versatile game that both ways feel great. Personally, though, I still am partial to the big battles, and that's what I love the most. And the big maps here, I think, work really well. I did say this in the before you buy, but like I had some personal favorite maps very quickly, and I know it's like subjective. Like some people are just gonna love or hate some maps. Liberation Peak, I found really awesome. Again, I like the bigger scale stuff. Manhattan Bridge is awesome, like the scale and like the how they have New York going there too. And then on the smaller side, like Empire State as well. I'm biased, but I think they've done a good job with like putting a fight into the New York area. I think they've done a good job with that. But I think it's interesting, right? Like the fact that it launched with 9 maps, something like 8 game modes. I feel like I've been eating good. I bought the game and I feel like I've been getting my money's worth, and it's been something I've been jumping into and playing and kicking around. And again, I can't talk to like the big Battlefield community. Like I'm not in that world. I don't care. But I think for me personally, like I am just having fun with this. The Portal stuff is really cool. There's definitely some cool shit and cool potential there. But for me, generally, like the package that's on offer now, I like it. And I think it's a testament to how good the core is, right? That I'm not thinking about like a roadmap or like a battle pass or like any shit they have planned in the future. Like it seems like there's some maps coming and that's great, but the fact that I've barely even thought about that, the fact that like even like making game ranks videos and YouTube videos and stuff and not talking like, well, but Battlefield 6's future, like I don't know what the future is. I don't really care because I'm just having fun in the moment, in the meantime. And I think that's good. I was just like a feeling I had, something I thought of, and I figured it was worth pointing out because I feel like so much we get caught up in like, oh, well, what's this game doing? Or as soon as it launches, it's like, okay, but like, what's it doing next? Or what's it going to fix? Right. And like Battlefield 6 isn't perfect. I think they could fix some things. They're probably going to tweak some things, change some weapons. I think the progression for the weapon mastery and like the upgrade stuff, I feel like that could be a little better and a little tightened in certain ways. But like, you know, again, I'm not really too concerned about like, what is this game doing? Like, what's it going to do next? I'm just happy with like what I'm doing right now in it. And that's just running around, running and gunning, getting shot in the face a lot. Like a lot. This game does have a learning curve for people. And I think if you're not used to Battlefield, you're probably going to be pissed off. But the fact that I can still have fun regardless of, you know, not being the best, that's wonders for me because it doesn't feel like me settling like, oh, I'm trying to find fun and I'm just like, you know, bopping around in the back of the battlefield. No, like again, all those elements are engaging enough where it doesn't feel like I'm like settling to find fun in other areas of the game. All areas of the game still require some level of skill, strategy, and coordination if you like working with other players or working with your squad. And because of that, I've had so many moments, going back to that, like so many moments where like, I save someone just in the nick of time, or I hop in a tank and shoot down a helicopter, or I save my squad's tank, you know? And still, to me, it still feels true to Battlefield, and it feels very much like what, again, a casual player, but I remember like jumping into all those games, and I remember like renting Battlefield 2 on console and experiencing like the degree of freedom to jump off of a building and parachute down and then find a new place to like snipe camp or something like that. So like that degree of freedom is still here, still being able to do whatever you want, jump off a building, be insane, do cool dive rolls and stuff like that, hop in a tank, go in a helicopter, hop on an ATV with your buddies, right? Like that stuff is really, really working here. And again, it helps too that it all feels like cinematic and big and chaotic and awesome, and the Battlefield music. That is, of course, I'm not the first person to point this out. The Battlefield music is like the Terminator theme, but like with an extra note added at the end. Dun 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 dun. You know, if I did have to like force myself to think about like what is next for Battlefield, like I still don't know how this is going to stand in the, you know, in the pantheon of multiplayer right now in terms of like people, you know, the endless numbers of Call of Duties and the amount of people that play them, or the Fortnites or the Apex or like any of shit like that, right? Like I don't know how Battlefield is going to compete with those. I don't know where it's going to stand. Of course, in the news, like EA wanted this game to have like 100, like a bajillion player count or something like that to compete with those games. I don't know where it's at there, but like I like it as it is now. It doesn't feel like this insane live service bullshit game. It just feels like a multiplayer Battlefield game. I didn't talk about the campaign much because I played through it. I didn't really like it. But that bums me out because Battlefield games sometimes have good campaigns and there's potential. But at the end of the day, like I am still happy with this package. But again, I got sidetracked. What I was saying was like, if I did have to like look and see like what is next for Battlefield, again, I don't know like where it's going to stand against its competitors or anything like that. But I don't know. I just like to see it live a long life, but like a regular Battlefield community life. But also, I'd love to see more maps in different battlegrounds in the United States because they set that potential there. So there's plenty of opportunity to do all different kinds of wild, especially the campaign too. The campaign showed like different parts and different battlefields in the US. So I think there's a lot they could do with that. And then maybe eventually they'll put in like, you know, Ninja Turtle skins and Beavis and Butthead skins and shit like that and piss anyone off. Who knows? It's EA, you know, but for right now, credit where credit is due. I've been having a lot of fun. Am I going to play it forever? No. Do I want to play it forever? No. Like I don't look for that in these games, but I see myself like a Battlefront 2 after that was updated and fixed. Like I find it as something like I'll just keep jumping into here and there when they add some maps, or not even, just like jumping in, doing some battles, having some fun, maybe hopping in with a friend and then moving on again and then jumping in later on down the line. Good shit. Battlefield 6. I wanted to just talk about it more after the before you buy because again, I kept playing it after the review period. So that to me marks a good game. And also for me, my bar with multiplayer games is tricky and been having a lot of fun. So again, fun is the most important word here. I use that word a lot on this channel. And Battlefield 6, It's fun as hell. That's it. Nobody paid me to say that. I'm just playing it and having a blast. But anyway, thanks for letting me just come on here and yap about something I've been enjoying. That's what I try and do the most on this channel. Wednesday, I do news videos, but generally I try and also just talk about stuff I like, stuff I enjoy. So if you get that, clicking the like button helps me. Thank you. I appreciate that. But that's all I'm doing. So thanks for listening to me yap. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Jake Baldino. Subscribe because video games. Pizza's on me.